Hi there. It is Friday, March 21st. This month just flew by. This is a podcast that I promised to do yesterday, and a lot of times I will do that. I'll promise to do a podcast just to hold myself accountable because if I think I'm going to do it, I typically, sometimes I won't, but if I say that I'll do it, it sort of forces me to do it. So I wanted to do a podcast on choices, and I did my best to lay this out. I wasn't as specific as I typically am with my notes, but I really like this topic, and there's probably some kind of way that we've blended in a lot of different podcasts with this one, but I've got 4 points written out, and I may just tell something personal maybe at the end as my fifth point, but maybe we'll stick to four. I hope everyone is doing well. I have no idea. I've been in Europe since the 10th. So I'm on day 11. And so I decided to kind of chill for a bit and do this for you. So the first thing that I have is decide. And that seems very simple, but I know so many people have the hardest time making simple decisions. So, one of my favorite quotes, I'm the queen of having favorite quotes, is that life is a series of intersections. So, in life, day by day, it's an intersection. Either you get a job offer or you get fired or you meet someone or you're constantly different things are constantly put on your plate and you are forced to decide or you should decide. Some people don't, which we're going to get to, but if you are unhappy at work, unhappy in your relationships, it is essentially your choice to stick these things out or not. No one is forcing you, to do anything. And I know that it gets really difficult because I've been in that place where, okay, you get a job that everyone in your family is so proud of, or that you always wanted. I mean, how many of you like spent your whole life thinking you wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer only to get to like law school or, you know, med school and like really say, I kind of want to do makeup. But then you're too embarrassed, to tell people that. So you make you choose to do something that doesn't make you happy. And so I want you to understand, your position in making those choices based on other people's thoughts of you. Now, I've said this many times before. I can assure you that much of what you think someone else thinks about you is not even the case or doesn't even hold any weight in your life. I'll tell you a quick story. I went to the gym here at the hotel. I'm in Amsterdam, and there aren't very many African American females outside of the people who are traveling with us. And I was on my own. I went to the gym, and I was wearing like this tie dye workout outfit that we're staying at, I guess, a quote unquote luxury hotel. And so, I mean, I stand out with the things that I wear. So I walked past these guys, a group of Caucasian guys, three or four, and right after I walked by, they started giggling, like laughing. And so, right in that moment, I felt something. I felt like they were making fun of me, and I felt, different. I felt strange. And within maybe 30 seconds, I stopped myself. And I was like, who am I to assume that they were even laughing at me? Who am I to assume that they even noticed me? Who am I to assume, negativity because in my mind, you see what I'm saying? That I know that I look different in my environment, but other people may not believe that I look different. And so that's the thing that I want you to remember is that I hate it when people say, oh, so and so doesn't like me or probably doesn't like me. And so probably isn't even thinking about you. But it's that consistent self awareness that you have to go, why am I thinking these people are thinking about me and they may not be? And if they are, so what? I like my workout clothes. I actually worked out, which is good for me. Which is good for what's underneath these clothes while you playing. And so I have to check myself, and I hope that you check yourself against the choices that you want to make that are going to make you feel good versus what you think other people are going to think about them. Number two are bad choices. We've all made them, and I'm going to call them uninformed. So some of our bad choices are uninformed. We've done things that that thing where you go, if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done that. It is insanely important to understand your role in your poor choices, and that's probably a better word choice, is poor versus bad, because what is good and bad really? um Poor choices. So you have you got with someone that you knew didn't fit your goals in life. You're doing something that you know doesn't fit your goals. You know that you really want to lose weight, and you've made the poor choice to eat something that doesn't fit, or you make the poor choice to do something other than exercise. We know that these are not the best choices, but we have to understand our role in the choices that we make. And it's not we have become such a blaming society, America, especially now that I've have been out of the country for a little while. We get so consumed with, if something happens to me, it's who can I blame for what has happened to me? If I make a poor choice and I fall over, it's their fault for not having a fence up or something like that. And I think that when you understand your role, like, I was having a conversation about sharing on social media recently, and the negativity that comes along with sharing. And while I may not love the things that people say about you or the negativity, I understand the choice that I made to be open and to share. So I don't have the right to go totally crazy about that, because that's my choice. I don't have to like it, and I don't have to receive the disrespect, but my mind's not blown away when it happens. And the second thing in this is, you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. So how many of us are sitting on something that we know is just super whack right now in our lives? And I was there. How long has it been since I kind of just, maybe 6 months? 6 months ago, I sort of walked away from a very poor choice that I had made. And the thing about walking away from poor choices, and even if it's, changing your diet, even if it's ending a relationship, quitting a job, the short amount of time that you're going to go through the discomfort of ending something that is a bad choice. And the thing is that I think we confuse it, is that bad choices don't always feel bad. Understand that. Bad choices don't always feel bad. They just don't have good, what do we say, good or bad consequences. They don't have good consequences or good payoff. Like, there's no, when you're doing something that, like, no matter how I slice this, it's not going to end well, period. And so it's painful for a second, but I think that if you just make the choice, cut it off, move forward, or do something. If you know you should be going back to school, if you know you should be reading every night, going to the gym, cooking your dinner, saving your money, acknowledge, it's important that we acknowledge the things that we are not doing very well so that we can change them. After that, I have, after what do you do? Life rewards action, okay? Life rewards action. We can talk about this all day long, but at some point you have to make a step. And I'll tell you that some of the things I do, little disciplinary exercises in my life to remind myself to do the things that I just don't love to do. I don't really like to work out. I don't. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I get up and I do it, and I stick with it as a disciplinary exercise. If I open my emails, I reply right away to the things that are important, because it is important for me to stay on task, and it just reminds me to do the things that I know I'm supposed to do. And you also have to remember that once what you acknowledge the poor choices, you have to not allow them to control you. I say it all the time. I got a DUI a couple of years ago, and my mugshots posted all online, because that's just what it is now. And I mean, I can sit there. There's no need in me complaining, because that's the choice I made, and that's what comes along with it. So when you do something, poor. You have a poor you made a poor choice in a mate, and you are in a relationship that is less than stellar. You don't have to be controlled by that, and you don't allow other people to control you for the mistakes that you made. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. So I'm like, you know what? I understand that, and also remembering that the girl that does 10 things versus the girl that does zero. The girl that does 10 things, even if she does one thing right and 9 things wrong, that's still more than the girl that does nothing. So, guess what happens to people who do nothing versus people who actually do? Doers typically make more mistakes. That's just how it goes. Doers make more mistakes. But we have to make a change once you know that that's not right. Once something smacks you in the face, don't keep don't keep doing it over and over again. And if you find that there is you have a lot of difficulty in your poor choices, get help. It's just like anything else. If you had cancer, you wouldn't try to fix it yourself, would you? If you broke your leg, would you try to fix it yourself? No. You have to go get help from a specialist who works on. Sometimes our choices are based on our upbringings, and those are things that we had no control over. So if you find that you choose to be rude, you choose to be nasty, you choose to be live a life that's less than light, go have somebody help you with that, because it's not, you think that you're affecting the people around you, but you really are affecting yourself. And so the other thing is just not making choices. I think so many people in life will sit still and do nothing, just kind of letting life happen to them, and then you get jealous of the people who don't let life happen to them. And it's okay to speak up and say how you feel. And it's not like, oh, you have to go off or go crazy unless it's warranted. But if someone hurts your feelings, it's okay to say that hurt my feelings. I always crack up when people are shocked that I reply publicly at something that someone may say to me that may have hurt me or whatever. I'm human. And one thing that I'm not going to allow social media to do to me is to dehumanize me to the point that I am out here pretending like I don't have any feelings. And I think that that's what a lot of public people end up doing. And then you always wonder, why did this person do this to themselves and why did they do that? And it's like, because it's you get trapped in the bullshit, stuff that's fake. This stuff is not real. This stuff is not real. You have to remember what matters to you in your real life. So I hope that this little bit helps, and maybe we can start talking further about choices. And if there are any questions, we can take this further. But you don't have to live a limited life. You understand? You don't have to live a life full of limits. And what the way that you're going to not do that is to remove some of the things that you believe are true. You believe you're fat. You believe you're ugly. You believe you're not smart. You believe you're too skinny. And that shit is not true, okay? It's not true. These are the things that one person told you, or you did what I did earlier yesterday. You walked past a group of people that I thought were laughing at me, and maybe they were or weren't, but you can't do that. You have to constantly be present with you and what you believe about yourself. You're beautiful, you're fabulous, you're stunning, you're smart. And if you don't feel that way about yourself, choose to be better, meaning work on yourself. Open a book, get the help, take the classes, go to the gym. If you don't do great with a diet, get help, professional help. It's out there, even free resources. But don't stand still. Don't I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but don't decide not to choose, because, like I said from the very beginning, life is a series of intersections. And I'll end with this: it is our choices that show what we truly are far more than our abilities. Choose happy, choose to be better. I'll talk to you guys when I get back to the States.